What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is AkeemHaynes. I'm a two-time Olympic bronze medalist, author, motivational speaker, and sports commentator. On my channel, we talk boxing, MMA, track and field, and of course, motivation and encouraging content. If this is something that you enjoy, then I hope that you subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into the video. So the track and field world championships just ended this past Sunday, and I was thinking about how I wanted to go about it. Now, there was a lot of great events, a lot of great things that was happening, but rather than doing a full overview, I'm just going to do my top 5 favorite moments of the recent world championships in Eugene, Oregon. Let's get into it, and let's start with number 5, and it's a two-way tie. My number 5 spot goes to the American sweep in the men's 100 and the women's Jamaican sweep in the women's 100, right? Let's talk about the men's 100. Fred Curley won, Marvin Bracey second, Trayvon Bromell. Incredible performance across the board. I mean, the USA is so deep every single year that every single year they have the potential to be able to sweep it, but that doesn't mean that it always happened. But this time it did, right? Every athlete has a story. Every athlete has a journey to get to this point. I haven't met Fred. I haven't met Bromell, but I've known Marvin Bracey for a while now. Even if you don't know them, when you hear their backstories of what they had to go through to get to this point and to get the win, it just makes it a lot more sweeter. What they were able to do is pretty remarkable. But I also want to say, Oblique Seville finished 4th. Oblique Seville, in my opinion, is going to be a future champion down the road. He's a very special talent and definitely got to be on the lookout for him. But the American sweep in the men's 100 was very impressive. Now, in the women's 100, it was the same 3 that swept it at the Olympics, are the same 3 that swept it again at this year's World Championship. That in itself is a crazy feat. That's not an easy thing to do. Shelly won, Sharika got second, and Elaine got third. What Shelly is doing right now is crazy, right? The consistency that she's been able to put forth and put together each and every single year. And when you think that she can't get any better, right? She's gotten so much better from the technical standpoint of things. I remember when I first started seeing her, right? She used to blaze it to 60 meters and then start breaking down to 70, but she's fixed that problem, and you can see the consistency within her race pattern, and you can see it translate to the times. Sharika took second. In my opinion, she's one of the most complete female sprinters today. What she can do across the board is just madness. From the 1 to the 2 to the 4, she can do it all, and how she's been able to improve in her flat 100 is very interesting to see. How much faster that she can go as she continues to grow and develop inside the 100 meters and as a sprinter. Elaine took bronze. Now, Elaine didn't quite look like herself to me in the heats, in the semis, but despite the fact she came back and found a way to get herself on the podium, and she ran fast doing it. With a coaching change and a few other changes, I mean, what these women have been able to do is incredible. I mean, to be able to repeat at the Olympics and then again, man, again, that's very impressive and a very big accomplishment. So they are tied for my number 5 spot. Number 4 spot, the Canadian men's 4x100 meter relay gold, right? In the relay, it's not just about putting the fastest guys out there. It's about leaving on time. It's about trusting that the person will get there. And the most important thing, not slowing down the stick. We saw in the last exchange, the Americans slowed down the stick and it wasn't a clean handoff, and it was a wrap from then. The relay is about chemistry, and the Canadians have chemistry and they have consistency. To see them win wasn't surprising. The Canadian team has done very well together in the relay for quite some time now. You go back to 2012 when they got disqualified. I was on that team, right? So I know the ins and outs of what those sessions, those practice, and that chemistry look like, right? Aaron ran a very good first leg to set them up. Jerome ran a wicked second leg. That was the best I've ever seen him run. Brendan blazed around the corner, and Andre closed out the show with a fast split as well, too. So it was a complete run by these men. That takes the 4th spot for me. The 3rd spot is another tie between Noah Lyles and Sharika Jackson in the 200 meters. Look, I got to be honest, I was not expecting Noah to run that fast. I figured, though, that he would need to run faster than 19.5 to win. He had a great lane draw where he could work on the outside, right? But to run 19:31 was mad, right? He ran that 200 meters as if he felt disrespected. It was an outstanding run from start to finish. No race is perfect, but that was very clinical of a performance by him. 1931, like that's crazy. Now, Shericka in her semis, how she crossed the line and pulled up with about 60 to 7 meters to go and still ran 21.6. We knew she was already in 21 shape, 21.5 shape because she ran that, but to see 21.4 on the clock, the record is 21.3. And when you see 21.4 on the clock, you're like, wait a minute, this record can possibly be broken now. It's touchable. Every record can be broken, but there are some that sound a little bit more mythical than others. And that 21.3 for quite some time sounded a little mythical. But what we saw, the performance by Shericka with a 21.4, it's attainable. And probably what made it more interesting was the fact that she ran that time with 5 races under her belt. So her legs wasn't as fresh. What if that was just a one runoff, right? Who knows what that could have been? But I also think part of what helped her run that fast as well, too, was that she had someone to chase when she could see Shelly, right? So she had to chase Shelly, and I think that helped her as well, too. That was an all-around impressive run. Both Noah and Shericka take my number 3 spot in their performance in the 200 meters. Number 2, Sydney McLaughlin, world record 50.68. That was beyond impressive. That time was crazy, yes. But the way she was moving early in the season, how she opened up her season, you knew at some point like a bigger drop of time was going to come. But what stood out to me the most was the fact that she beat the field by 2 seconds. These are the best women in the world, right? We're talking about Femke Bol, Dalilah Muhammad, who were medalists at the Olympics as well, too, in a closer race. These are the best women in their field, period, point blank. And Sydney McLaughlin ran so fast and crossed the line and was 2 seconds ahead of them. That was incredible. That was a dominant performance. What she is doing and how she is doing it is something that we will look back, and especially if you're someone who is really into track and field and really immerse yourself in the historical style of things, this is a performance and a dominance that we will be talking about for quite some time down the road. And we might not appreciate what she's been able to do until 15, 20 years down the road. Well, she's retired, but I hope that she gets the respect and she gets the flowers that she deserves, because 50.68 is no joke. But how she ran that time and how technically sound she was doing it, man, incredible performance. She takes my number 2 spot. Number 1, Tobi Amusan. Look, I didn't think that hurdle record was going to get touched this year, at least, right? Let alone be broken by that margin. Tobi ran 12:12 in the semifinal, and I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, hold up. Is that right? Like, what did we just see? I was a little bit shocked. I remember seeing the time, and I was like, wait a minute, that's a semifinal. Like, why is she? Wait a minute. It just didn't. I don't know. Maybe I was so shocked that I was just like, man, I don't know if I really believe that just yet. I saw it physically, like I saw it, but there was a bunch of us that was like, wait a minute. Yeah, we saw that, but is that right? You know, when something happens to you and it's so shocking that it just freezes you in your track. Like, that's what I felt I was. And I don't think I was the only one. So we were seeing, can she do it again in the final, right? If she can do it again, okay, it was legit. If she didn't do it, okay, we were thinking to ourselves, man, maybe something was messed up with the clock. But then she went and ran 12:06, which didn't make any sense either. But she ran 12:06 in the final, kind of in the same way that she ran the semifinal. And I was just thinking to myself, bro, like, this girl can run 11:9. I even said, like, yo, there's a possibility that we might see 11:9. And we almost saw 11:9. This was an incredible performance. The way how she executed the hurdles, it was like poetry in motion. She was so technically sound in this one. Everything was just flowing well. It was like she was doing a dance and everything was moving the way how she was moving. It was beautiful. I remember I used to be in the same camp with Aries Merritt, and I used to watch Aries go over the hurdles, and I was thinking to myself, man, this is such a thing of art. The placement and the angles that he took to get over the hurdles and the snap down and snapping everything back and going over, like it was just beautiful. And I saw the same thing from Tobi in both of her races. Man, it's incredible. It was like 12:12 is an incredible time. I mean, the whole race in general was just fast. It was that's got to be one of the best. That's got to be, if not the best, complete hurdle races from first to last that we have seen like ever. right? Toby's performance was incredible, and it took the #1 spot for me. But I want to know from you, especially if you've been watching track and field, what were some of your favorite times during the World Championships? Let me know in the comment section below. If you would like to support the channel, there's a couple ways that you can do so. You can like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to support the channel by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen here. Any amount would be greatly appreciated and goes towards the growth of this channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. So if you've been watching the video this long, then do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.